What's up, guys? I just got this dash cam in the mail. Viofo A229 Pro. 2-channel front and rear. This seems to be a popular kind of mid-level dash cam brand. At least it's popular with the GR86 BRZ community, it seems like. And there's this guy that runs Hachi Electronics, who I found on the forums. And he has not only group buys, but he has like pre-wired setups for your car. So I have a 2024 BRZ, and he has this pre-wired kit for the dash cam. So it's actually powered by the little fake sound thing that you unplug. You plug in this instead, and then not only is it powered by that, but it's still powered even when you turn off the car. You get the ability to keep recording while you're parked. And I think there's different settings. You can have like motion detection, or you can just leave it running and it actually auto detects when the battery gets to a certain voltage. So it'll cut itself off before you kill your battery. So that's pretty cool. For installing wiring and stuff like this, I recommend buying some kind of, this is like a trim remover kit. And it's basically just a bunch of little plastic pry tools. So not just my car, but so many cars these days, if you want to tuck wiring behind paneling, you're going to have to remove some plastic panels. And if you use like a metal screwdriver, you are going to really mess those panels up. And they're not too expensive, so. So on this dash cam wiring kit, you actually have a little toggle switch tied to these voltage mounts. And this is for you to choose what the threshold is for how much battery it will suck out while the car's parked before it shuts off to preserve the battery. So on your far left, 11.8 volts, that is the safest option. As you move right, the 12 volt is like the medium option. 12.2 and then all the way to 12.4, you're gonna get longer recording times, but you're gonna start sucking out too much battery power. Or so I've read. I haven't experimented with this myself. So I'm probably either going to keep it on the first one, 11.8, or the second one, 12. And I think I'll put it on motion detection. I don't need like a solid recording. You get a little piece of paper that shows you the direction everything plugs in. You get your two cameras here. Got your front camera, some peel off sticky tape. You can rotate the camera direction a little bit. Got your little rear camera here, sticky tape. I would probably clean the window where you're gonna stick it pretty well first, maybe with some alcohol. Little user manual, little bag with some extra stickies. Oh, you actually get a little, I think you peel this off and put it on the window where you're gonna stick it. Little customer service support ticket guide. Put that puppy on your car. We're watching you. Warranty info. You got your little cigarette lighter plug if you want to do that. You got the plug to go from the front camera to the back camera. You got a little plastic pry tool. You have USB-C to USB-A here. And looks like you got a little lens cover here. You want to pick up a micro SD card to go with this. You're gonna want like a high endurance one. Apparently you can get like a cheaper one that will fit, but the constant recording over itself will burn out the little card unless you get one of these like high endurance ones. I think this camera can hold up to a 512 card. So that's what I got. But you could get lower, it'll just record over itself faster. Yeah, max USB card, micro USB card capacity is 512. So I put that thing in here, and you gotta make sure that the camera is off before you put it in. Memory card must be formatted before first use. Please format the card on a computer or in the camera to exFAT or FAT32 system. So I just use the USB cable plugged into the computer, setting this thing up. It's asking what language. There's no battery, obviously, so you got to plug it into something. You could do it in the car or in a computer. I'm in Los Angeles, so GMT -7. Okay, so you click the record or the mic button to move up and down on this thing. And OK is the little hazard button. Your dash cam will automatically set the time and date when the satellite signal has been received. Okay. Speed units, miles per hour. Format SD card, all data will be deleted. Press OK. It's gonna format the card here.
Memory card format successful.
There you go.
Recording, 1 channel started.
So it just automatically started recording. So then it's time to essentially mount your camera in your car. That's the best mounting solution, passenger side, just to the left of the rearview mirror. You want to run it behind the lining of the car and the plastic and stuff. There's a number of ways to plug it in. You know, you could plug it into the fuse box. You could just use the cigarette lighter with the charger it came with. Or I'm using this wiring kit. So it's like it's going to be constantly filming, and it's going to be in your dash, and you're going to be able to see this little screen. If someone crashes into you or something crazy happens and you want to make sure that that video is saved, you just press the center button here with the little hazard on it.
Video protected.
And it will save that on there to make sure it doesn't get recorded over. Also, if it detects a collision, it'll automatically lock the current video recording, so you won't have to manually. And it looks like this far left button, if you press that, it takes a photo. This is the record on and off button. So now it's not recording.
Recording, 1 channel started.
Now it is recording. And the mic button.
Voice recording disabled.
So whether or not you want it to actually record audio is up to you. Okay, if you hold down this button, if you just click it once, it takes a picture. If you hold it down, the far left button, it'll turn the thing off or turn it back on. I guess to turn it on, you just click it. There's menu settings here, but it actually won't work unless you press record and stop recording. Then you press that and you can get the video settings and the system settings, and you can set up your different modes for the parking. If you want it to be motion triggered or if you want it to just run all night, you can set it up all here. So in the video settings, you got like your resolution. If you have 256 memory card or higher, like you can go for the 4K 30 frames per second. It's gonna run hotter. It's gonna take up more space. If you want more clips and less recording over itself, you can choose the 2K 30 frames per second. This one is like super wide angle, but it crops the top and bottom. So that's just personal preference if you want more side views, but you don't care about having some cropping above you. You can choose that. I'm just gonna go with 4K 30 frames per second. The bitrate, since I have a 512 like high performance memory card, I'm just gonna choose high. Same thing with like taking up space and all that. If you have a really low memory card, you might want to choose a lower setting, but I'm going to go for high. Loop recording is just how long each clip is before it starts the new clip and then eventually records over itself. And the thing is, like, the smaller the clip is, the easier it is to find stuff. So I'm going to go like maybe 3 minutes. You can do your recorded audio settings here as well. I'm going to leave it on. The exposure values, there's auto exposure. I'm not gonna really mess with this, but like if you have super bright light, you might want to lower the exposure, -1 or -2. If it's super dark, you might want to increase it, +1, +2. So you can also control the settings through the Viofo app. To do that, you have to make sure the camera's on and make sure you have the Wi-Fi enabled. If it's disabled, you hold down the Wi-Fi button until it turns on. Then on your phone, go to the Wi-Fi settings and go to find Viofo on the Wi-Fi list as if it's like a router. Click on it, and the default password is 123456778. Then once you do that, you go into the app, connect to it, and you'll see all the settings there. You can change the Wi-Fi password there if you want to. And it's all the same settings we went through, but you can do it on your phone. Plus, you can check out footage and stuff on your phone, which is kind of convenient if you don't want to do it on the camera itself. Once it's like rigged up, it's kind of a pain. Also, you get this little lens that comes with it. And you probably don't want this for night driving, but if you're driving during the day and there's a lot of glare, you can pop this thing on. It should reduce glare and help with like reflective surfaces. Just stuff will be less washed out. You'll probably be able to see license plates better. And so if you hold down the center button instead of just clicking it to save the video, it'll actually go to your file list. You can see videos on there. You can click into them and trash them or whatever. And you have your protected files in here that we saved, but you can go in and unprotect them if you want. And there should be no real reason that you actually have to go through here and delete anything, because it'll just auto record over itself, except if you had pressed that middle button, it would protect the file from getting recorded over unless you manually delete it. One thing you want to do is make sure that you mount the camera within the range of the windshield wipers so that when it's filming at night, you'll get a clear view of what's in front of you. So I've mounted it just behind the rearview mirror on the passenger side, just below the little black dots. I wanted to mount it on actual clear glass. The only thing I would say to be cautious of is on the back of my rearview mirror, I have like the auto dimming. I'm not sure if this is an auto dimming sensor or if it's actually a auto headlight sensor to detect whether it's nighttime to turn on the headlights. But either way, it's like I have the camera really close to being in front of that, and you probably don't want to block that off. Now my rearview mirror is at an angle, so I think the sensor will still work. Like it's aiming past the camera, but that's something to be aware of where you mount it. But I do like having it mounted to where I can't really see it, so I like it being blocked by the rearview mirror. Then I got the rear camera mounted in the back. You try to get it as centered as possible. The camera itself pivots, so it doesn't really matter what the angle is. Camera on the front pivots as well. I chose to use the little clear strips to put on the windows. For one, because in the rear I have tint, and if I ever want to take this thing off, I remember I had a dash cam on my previous car, and the adhesive is like impossible to get off, and you end up like scraping up the window and the tint and everything. So I think it's cheap insurance to just put that little strip on there. You can't really see it, but and I trim the strips down because they give you like an iPhone screen size strip. I don't need one that big, but anyway, I put the little squares on there, and now it's time to do the wiring. So we got our custom wiring harness here. We're gonna have to take off this panel. So you can use the little pry tool that it comes with, or you can use whatever you got lying around. Just go through the bottom here. Oops. There you go. So inside here, I think I must have zip tied this, but we have our little fake sound plug in here. I guess we're gonna plug into that. Obviously you need to unplug your fake sound to use this. So we got this, and we're gonna plug it into that. So as you can see, we got that plugged in. You gotta like pry this plastic to get to it. Now I can tuck it in there. The battery cutoff option I can tuck in there as well if I want to. And you're probably gonna want like some zip ties or electrical tape to get this where you want. But before you tuck in a bunch of stuff, you should probably get it wired to the camera up through the liner to see how much slack you need. So I'm gonna do that now. So this power goes into the top of it, like so. Then we can tuck everything up top. So far we have it going straight up, and there's like kind of a thick part of it. So I had to really pull down this plastic bit to get that thick part in there. Then it goes over the eyesight into the liner here, and this is where we're at. And now we're gonna tuck it in between here. You can just use your finger, and you can actually just pull down on this side piece hard enough that it just opens up and you can tuck everything into there and snap it back in. While we got all this open, since we have our rear camera, we might as well use our plug that's gonna go into the left side of the camera and route that the same way through there, except this is gonna go past where it's connecting. I have the line to the rear camera going to the same place as the plug, except now they're splitting and the plug's gonna go down here and the rear's gonna go through the top, because I think that'll just be easier to reach than running it through the bottom, but I think you could go either way. So I'm just peeling back the headliner and plugging it in and then pressing everything back together. Okay, I finished the main power. Just push it all the way through here, push this side piece back together. We're not done with the rear, but we can go ahead and like plug it in over here. Make sure to like tidy up all these cables with electrical tape or zip ties and secure them so they're not jiggling around in there. So we'll do that now. So I just used one of the little twist ties that came with the kit, tied everything together, and then I'll figure out a way to secure this in there. Okay, so I used another twist tie to twist it around this little metal plate and around the wiring itself. So now it's nice and stable. It's not gonna rattle, make noises. So our dash cam works, so that's a good sign. Okay, so now I've got the rear going all along the top here. You can pry this and just shove it in there, and I have it to there. So I'm just gonna keep shoving it in between the gaps, go along the headliner, then plug it into there. But we're gonna have so much slack left over that I didn't really think about. So I'm probably gonna plug that in first and then run it tight till I have somewhere like right here where I can coil everything up and zip tie it or tape it or something. Okay, I've plugged it in, put it in the headliner, and now I'm here where I've pried this little clip out. And so at this point I could coil it all up and put it in there. I'm not sure if that's an airbag or what. If it is and you don't want to obscure it, you could put it in here instead or in here. Nobody sits back here in my car, so I'll probably just put it back there. I got it through, you can still see it right there. I'll probably try to tuck that in a little bit better, but this headliner was not easy to get it into. I had to like really rip it out, get it in there, and then shove it back in, but it seemed to all snap back together. Now I'm gonna shove all the extra in there. Here's my wad of cables. Zip tie is better than tape because it's gonna get hot in here. I'm sure every professional out there is like, what the hell is he doing? And look at that. Like it wasn't even there. Perfection. So probably the better way would be to, after installing the front camera, wire the back, starting from the back all the way to the front. So all your slack ends up with the slack of the other one, which is like where all this room is up top. So yeah, ideally you have all the slack from the back camera up here as well, where you have extra room, but I don't really care. And these pieces get the little inside part snug and snap it into place. Now when we get in, I have a little delay set on here.
Recording. 2 channels started.
Yeah, you got your rear in the corner there. You got your front there. So we're all good. And the cables are nice and tucked away. I can probably rip that little piece of paper off. I got my radar detector up here. That wire's tucked away. That's going all the way down this side into the fuse box. You can also like plug stuff into up here, but I didn't really get into that world. I think that's it.